Alrighty, how's it going out there, folks? Rooster here in Tennessee, and this is going to be one of those, I guess you'd say, in quote type videos that I don't particularly enjoy doing, but they are necessary to do to kind of set the standard, set the tone of how business is going to be conducted. Um, this one's going to revolve around the warranty return policy. Because that's the kind of situation we're dealing with right now with a customer. And I will say this customer has spent a decent amount of money with me. That's why I've tried to go above and beyond and try to please them. But going forward, guys, the return policy, the warranty policy, it applies to everybody. It doesn't matter to me if you spent $20,000 with me this year or if you spent $2 with me. The policy is there for a reason, and I will not be bending it for anybody in the future. Because when I do make accommodations, it generally bites me in the rear. It ends up being something on the customer's end that is causing them to have issues that I can't control, or it ends up being a situation like what I have in front of me right now, which we'll go into great detail with here in a second. But just no more exceptions. Like I said, it doesn't matter who you are. The return warranty policy is available on the website. It's not kept in secret. It's not in fine print. You literally have an opportunity to read it before you pay. There's a tab that says helpful information, return policy, warranty policy. So, story time. Let's get into it here with this radio. 2995 DX HP, a brand new radio purchased a couple of weeks ago. For a customer that had already purchased a 2995 DX HP a couple of months before that. I think he got it back in last year, maybe when I first started getting these in. But he ran into a factory warranty type issue. He sent it off to Superior, the Rangers Warranty Center, which, again, they're there for a reason. Those type of issues are best handled by them. Basically ends up not costing the customer any money as long as they can show a receipt where they purchased it. And they're really good about taking care of stuff like that. So he ran into something like that after using the radio for a while. Had him send it out there. He couldn't wait for his radio to come back in, so he wanted to buy another radio. And I did encourage him to buy a cheaper radio. I tried to sell him a RCI29 Base Plus, and he insisted that he wanted another $29.95. He wanted the receive meter loosened up on it because he didn't care for the top meter. So that has been done to this radio. The receive meter has been loosened up on it. After having the radio for a few days, he let me know that the sideband power was considerably lower than the AM power, the PEP power. There was a discrepancy of about 100 watts. I believe he said that on AM it showed 275 and on sideband it showed 180, which we'll get into that here in a second as well. And he wanted to send the radio back to have that double checked, but he didn't want to be without a radio. So customer went so far to request that I send him another $29.95, another brand new one, so he wouldn't be without a radio. And I shot that down. I told him, hey, send that one back. This one that's in front of us, send it back, and we'll take a look at it. And, if the sideband power is low on it, we'll get that adjusted and get it sent back to you. So that was the agreement. And I even went above and beyond and paid for return shipping label, which, let me tell you something, guys. I'm not bragging, putting myself on a podium, but most places aren't going to do that. When you send these radios off for warranty, you have to pay for the shipping out there at the bare minimum. If you have to send the amplifier back to the amp builder, you have to pay for the shipping. But I was trying to go above and beyond for this customer, and I paid for return label back to me, okay? So, in the meantime of him sending this radio back, about the day that it gets here, or the day before it gets here, he sends me a message and says that, hey, his wife has been on his ass about the radios, for whatever reason, and he'd rather just get a refund on it. And he figures that $900 is a fair refund price for him. Well, the radio was sold $950 free shipping the first time. Then I paid return shipping back on it. And I'm trying to work with this customer, guys, like I said, but this is coming to an end. There's going to be no more accommodations, special accommodations, and this is why. So on my website, under the return policy, it says no returns are accepted unless special circumstances deemed by Rooster Radio Connection. A 20% restocking fee will be, applied. I was going to waive a portion of that for him and take the radio back in. Even though that's not what we agreed to originally, the radio has now been delivered basically, and we're changing what we had agreed to. The original agreement was to check the radio. If there's anything wrong with it, address it, send it back. Now we've flipped that, and he wants his money back on it, despite me having a no return policy, despite me having a 20% restocking fee. He thought that he should only have, a $50 penalty, despite me paying for a shipping label back. Now, here's where we start running into issues, okay? For one, the radio didn't arrive back in the same condition that it left here in. Fan kit has been mangled. The fan on this side doesn't work now. It's probably in a bind. The grill's probably up against it, stopping it from spinning. It's spinning on that side, but not over here. So, bottom and top, as you guys can see, the fan kits took a lick. Okay? Well, if we'd stuck to the original agreement, not that big of a deal. I'd tell him it was his radio, his problem, which is probably what's going to be told anyway. As we get down the line of the story here, I'll tell you guys kind of how I feel about the situation. And again, I'm not doing this to shame the customer. I haven't even mentioned his name. So, anybody that thinks I'm doing this to try to sabotage this customer or ruin his reputation, it's not about that. I'm just sharing you guys a different perspective so some people can kind of understand why business is conducted the way that it is. So fan kit's mangled. That's obviously a problem because the radio is no longer even close to being in new condition. Could it be straightened out? Maybe. Semi. It's probably not ever going to be exactly the way it was. It's probably always going to have some ripples and stuff in it. So, it's a used radio at this point. I was going to mark the radio down anyway, but now, especially since it's got shipping damage on it, here we go. All right, next. He had told the whole thing that started this was, according to him, it wasn't buyer's remorse, and the wife thing wasn't the original reason that he was wanting to send it back to be checked out. It was because the sideband power was low. Well, what I'm going to do, guys, we're going to check this thing on AM, and we're going to check it in sideband. I have not had the covers off of it. We're going to check it with a 500 watt slug, and we're going to check it with a 1,000 watt slug. So, first things first, let's get over here and check it. We got our 1,000 watt slug in. This is AM, and this is peak power. And that's where the discrepancy was the peak power. Hello, audio 1 2 3, bottom scale. Audio 1 2 3, audio 1 2 3, audio 1 2 3, audio. Now that's AM, and just to show you, we're going to go to sideband. 300 watts AM PEP. Audio 1 2 3, audio 1 2 3, check check check, audio 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 1 2 3, audio. About 275, 280 on sideband there. So there is a little bit less, but I'll tell you guys, that's normal. Even with a radio like a Longhorn, they'll do about 750 on sideband and around 8 on AM. So they all do a little bit less on sideband. Most of these newer Ranger radios do. You hardly ever get them doing the exact power. Hello, audio check check, audio check check, audio check check, audio check check, audio. So again, 275, 280, whatever you want to call it, that was lower sideband. Okay, AM. Back to AM again. Let's put in a 500 watt slug so we can look at the middle scale here. Check check, audio, check check, audio, check check, audio, check check, audio. That's AM, guys. 300 audio on the dot. You guys can see we're being transparent here. Don't want anybody thinking I'm pulling some hocus pocus. That's on AM. Sideband, you can hear the static. Middle scale, check check, audio, 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 check 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 check. About 280. Lower sideband. check, audio, 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 check, audio. 275, 280. So that being said, guys, I mean, I really don't know what else to say about this. It's a bad situation. I don't like it. It's aggravating to deal with. Hate getting in these situations. So it almost turns you against wanting to sell modified radios at all. You know, it makes me want to go, which I'm leaning in that direction anyway, to the wholesale direction. But it really makes you, you know, second guess even selling modified radios when you run into this problem. Because if I have to do a video on every single radio that leaves here just to prove that it's doing what it's doing and to prevent situations like this, I mean, it is very time consuming. And this customer was in a hurry to get their radio. They got it in about a 5-day to 6-day turnaround because I was trying to help him out because his other radio had an issue. So he was already pressing and in a hurry for the radio. So I didn't do a video on it. And, you know, you guys will see kind of what's going on here by me telling you the story of what's up with it. So, sucks about this because there was nothing wrong with the radio to begin with. I don't know what he's got going on his end up there, but I mean, it's not doing anywhere near 180 watts on sideband. I mean, it's doing, you know, 100 watts PEP past that. And the power that this radio is showing is about what we generally expect these to do leaving here. Some have done a little bit less, and some may have done just a little bit more, but usually right there around that, you know, that ballpark, 275, 280 PEP is pretty much a good ballpark number for it. So don't know what's going to happen, guys. I've messaged the customer and kind of told him my sentiments about it, and I'll just tell you, what do I think needs to happen? I mean, I think he needs to keep this radio because there's nothing wrong with it. And especially now that it's got mangled up in shipping. I mean, you guys can see the dang fan kit sticking up over the case back there, which was not done when I shipped it. You know, I'm sure I would have heard about it had it got damaged when I shipped it. But that's happened obviously on the comeback here. So that's what I think needs to happen. I think he needs to keep this radio. And again, what will happen in the future is I will be sticking to my return policy, my warranty policy. And if that bothers some people, hey, I understand. There's a lot of other people you guys can do business with out there. You know, there's maybe some places that have a more free return policy, more free warranty policy. You know, that's a little bit more giving than mine. But at Rooster Radio Connection, that's the way things are going to be going forward. And again, that return policy and warranty policy is available at checkout on the website. As always, I appreciate everybody's business, including this customer. Like I said, not bashing his name or anything like that, because hopefully we can come to a civil agreement on this and probably do some future business in the future. Like I said, I'm not doing this like to be spiteful or try to, you know, throw the guy under the bus or anything. It's just, I think people need to see the other side of this sometimes when customers are like, well, dang, why is he like that? You know, why is his return policy like that? Well, now you guys can kind of see. All right, appreciate everybody. Rooster in Tennessee, roostercb.com. Definitely not a video that I enjoy making, so just one that needed to be made. Not one that I wanted to make, but one that I needed to make. Everybody have a good one. Rooster in Tennessee. See you, bye.